grow up in a small town, you learn to make your own fun. There aren't malls or arcades or movie theaters open past 9. There are creeks, cornfields, and old houses with stories that don't make it into newspapers. I was 15 when it happened, but even now, years later, I can still feel the way the air changed that night. Like the world had stopped breathing for just a moment. We lived in Willow Creek, population 4,000 on a good day. Everyone knew everyone, which meant rumors traveled faster than trucks down Main Street. There was one story that never seemed to die: the Miller House. It sat at the edge of town, just before the road curved toward the old quarry. A big 2-story farmhouse, abandoned since the late 1980s. People said the Millers had left after their youngest son went missing. Others whispered that he never left at all. It was a Friday in late October, one of those chilly evenings when the light fades early, and the trees look like thin black hands scratching at the sky. My friends and I were bored, really bored, and when boredom and teenage stupidity mix, bad ideas start to sound exciting. There were 4 of us that night: me, Tyler, my best friend since 3rd grade, Jenny, my next door neighbor and secret crush, though I'd have denied it then, and Mark, the loud one, the one who dared people to do dumb things just to watch. We were sitting in the parking lot behind the old diner, sharing a bottle of Coke and half a bag of chips, when Mark leaned forward and said, "Let's play hide and seek at the Miller house." Tyler laughed immediately. "Dude, no. Everyone knows that place is messed up." "Exactly," Mark said. "It'll be fun. Come on, it's Halloween weekend. We'll take flashlights. In and out, 10 minutes tops." Jenny rolled her eyes, brushing her blonde hair back. "You guys are idiots." But she smiled when she said it, and that smile was enough for me to say, "Okay, I'm in." We biked there just after 9 p.m., when the town lights blurred behind us, and the only sounds were our tires on gravel and the wind through dry leaves. The Miller house came into view at the end of a dirt road. A tall, skeletal thing with peeling white paint and windows like blind eyes. The front porch sagged, the door hung half open, and the grass was up to our knees. Tyler stopped first. "You know what, maybe we shouldn't." Mark grinned. "Chicken." I looked at Jenny. She shrugged but didn't say no. That was it. 4 flashlights clicked on, and we stepped into the dark. The air inside smelled like wet wood and old dust. The wallpaper had peeled into strips, and a broken chandelier hung from the ceiling like a spider's web of glass. We split up. 2 seekers, 2 hiders. Mark and Jenny volunteered to hide first. Tyler and I would count. We stood in the living room, next to a fireplace full of ash and something that might have once been toys. 1, 2, 3. I started counting. Somewhere upstairs, I heard a door creak. 10. Ready or not, here we come. We started searching. The house was bigger than it looked from outside, full of hallways that led nowhere, doors that stuck, and floorboards that groaned like they were complaining. We found an old kitchen, a pantry, and a staircase that led down into blackness. The basement. Tyler shined his light into it and whispered, "Nope, not going down there." "Fair," I said, though part of me wanted to. There was something about that darkness that felt wrong. Too thick, like it wasn't just absence of light but presence of something else. We searched upstairs. Every step creaked under us. The first door opened into a kid's bedroom, or what was left of it. Wallpaper with faded rocket ships, a toy chest split open, and on the floor small footprints in the dust. "Do you see that?" I whispered. Tyler nodded, his voice low. "Does those look fresh?" I laughed nervously. "Probably animals or something." But even as I said it, I knew it wasn't true. They were too human, too small. A loud thud echoed from downstairs. Like something had fallen over, we both jumped. "Jenny," I called out. No answer. We hurried back down, hearts racing, lights flickering. The sound had come from the hallway near the back door. There, lying on the floor, was one of the old wooden chairs, knocked over. "Mark," Tyler called. Still nothing, just silence. And then, faintly, from somewhere deeper in the house, came the softest laugh. A child's laugh. Tyler turned to me, eyes wide. "Tell me you heard that." I nodded. "It's probably just Mark messing with us." But even Mark couldn't fake that sound. Light, distant, and wrong in a way that made my stomach twist. We moved toward it, the beams of our flashlights shaking. The hallway seemed longer than before, stretching into shadows. There was a door at the end, cracked open. I pushed it. Inside was a small storage room, shelves, boxes, dust, empty, except for a single, tiny handprint smeared on the inside of the door, like someone had tried to push it closed from within. Tyler stepped back. "Nopey." "Nope, I'm done." I tried to laugh it off, but my throat was dry. "Let's just find the others." We went back to the living room. Empty. The front door still open. Outside, the wind had picked up, and somewhere an old swing creaked. We called for Mark and Jenny again, louder this time. No answer, just that swing. Squeak, squeak, squeak. "Okay," I said finally, "we'll check upstairs again. Maybe they're hiding there." Tyler hesitated but followed. We climbed the stairs, one creaking step at a time. The second-floor hallway was darker now, our flashlights dimming as if the batteries were dying. Halfway down the hall, we heard a door close behind us. We spun around. Nothing. Then, from the last room at the end of the hall, came Jenny's voice. "Guys." Relief flooded me. "Jenny, where are you?" "I'm here," she said softly. We ran to the door. I grabbed the knob. It was ice cold. I turned it and pushed. It wouldn't move. "Jenny, it's stuck," I said. "Hold on, we'll..." The door suddenly swung open by itself. The room inside was empty, dust floating in the beam of my flashlight. No Jenny. "Jenny," I whispered. Something moved in the corner. A shadow, low to the ground. It darted past us, fast, almost human-shaped but smaller. Tyler screamed. We both stumbled back, tripping over each other. My flashlight hit the floor and flickered out. When I picked it up again, the hallway was empty. That's when we heard it, from downstairs this time. Mark's voice, faint, calling, "Guys, found you." I almost cried from relief. We ran down. Mark stood in the living room, grinning. "Where the hell were you guys?" "Looking for you," I said, half laughing, half shaking. "We heard." "Where's Jenny?" He interrupted. I froze. "We thought she was with you." Mark frowned. "No, she never came to hide with me." "I thought she followed you." The three of us stared at each other, realization sinking in. Tyler whispered, "We have to find her. Now." We searched again, every room, calling her name until our voices cracked. The wind outside had turned into a steady howl, rattling the windows. Then, from the basement, came a faint tapping sound. 3 knocks, slow, deliberate, like someone knocking from inside the walls. Tyler shook his head, tears in his eyes. "No, I'm not going down there." Mark grabbed his arm. "That's Jenny. It has to be." He looked at me. "You coming?" I hesitated, but I couldn't leave her there. So I went first. The stairs creaked like bones. The air grew colder with every step. My flashlight beam caught cobwebs, rusted tools, and old jars filled with something black and thick. At the bottom was a dirt floor, and in the center, a small wooden door half buried in the wall. The tapping came again, 3 knocks. From behind it. "Jenny," I whispered. Nothing. Then, slowly the door began to move outward, scraping the dirt. Mark stepped forward. "Hold on, I'll—" The door burst open. Mark jumped back, nearly knocking over his flashlight. The beam swung wildly across the basement walls, catching dust and shadows. My first thought was that it had to be Jenny. But what stepped out of that small door wasn't her. It was a boy, maybe 8 years old. Pale, thin, wearing a torn flannel shirt that looked 50 years old. His eyes caught the light and reflected it like an animal's. He just stood there, head tilted, like he was studying us. I remember whispering, "Hey, are you okay?" The boy smiled. It was a small, crooked smile that didn't reach his eyes. Then he said, "You found me." Mark stepped back. "Who are you?" The boy didn't answer. He looked past us, toward the stairs. I followed his gaze and saw another shape there. A girl about our age, standing at the top of the stairs in the dark. It was Jenny. "Jenny!" I yelled. Relief flooded me so fast I almost laughed. We found this kid down here. But when I looked back at the boy, he was gone. The small door stood open, empty. Tyler called from upstairs. "Come on, let's go. This place is—" His voice cut off in a scream. Mark and I ran for the stairs, hearts pounding. We hit the first step when every light went out at once. My flashlight flickered weakly, giving just enough light to see shapes moving in the dark. Dozens of them. Small, quick, whispering, laughing. It was the same laugh we'd heard before. High, childlike, echoing off the basement walls. Mark shoved me toward the stairs. "Go." I didn't look back. I just ran. I think I tripped halfway up, hit my knee hard enough to draw blood, but the fear kept me moving. We reached the first floor, burst into the living room. Jenny was standing there, frozen, flashlight hanging at her side. She looked at us blankly. "Why did you leave me?" I grabbed her hand. "Jenny, we didn't." "We thought you were gone." "Come on." She didn't move. Her hand was ice cold. Then she looked over my shoulder, eyes wide with terror. "He's still down there," she whispered. Mark turned to look. The basement door creaked open again. A small hand reached out, gripping the frame. Then another, then another. One by one, children began crawling out of the basement. Not running, not attacking. Just stepping into the dim light. Some were missing shoes. Some had hollow faces, skin gray and thin. All of them were whispering the same words, over and over, in song voices. "Ready or not, here we come." That's when Tyler screamed again, from outside. We turned. The front door was open. He was standing in the yard, waving us toward him. "Come on." We ran. I swear the air itself pushed against us like a strong wind. The house breathing out one last sigh as we crossed the threshold. We didn't stop running until we reached the road. By the time we looked back, the Miller house was dark and silent again. No lights, no movement. Tyler bent over, gasping. "Jenny, what happened in there?" But Jenny didn't answer. She just stared at the house, her face pale, her lips trembling. We biked home without saying another word. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those kids' faces. The next morning, Mark came over looking shaken. "We have to tell someone." We went to the sheriff's office. They sent a deputy to check it out. When he came back, he told us the basement had been filled in years ago. No door, no hollow space, nothing but dirt and bricks. He said we were probably imagining things, kids scaring ourselves in an old house. But then, a week later, they found something. Construction crews had started tearing down the Miller house. Finally, when they dug under the basement foundation, They found a small sealed room. Inside were old toys, broken furniture, and bones. Children's bones. The sheriff told us not to talk about it. Said it was under investigation. But the news never printed anything. The lot was cleared, the ground leveled, and a year later a new family moved in, building a neat white ranch house where the Miller place used to be. Jenny moved away the next summer. Her parents said she started waking up at night, saying someone was hiding under her bed. Mark stopped talking to us. He joined the army the year after graduation. Tyler and I stayed friends for a while, but he never went near that side of town again. As for me, I tried to forget. But sometimes, when the wind picks up at night, I can still hear it. The soft, childish voice whispering just behind my ear, ready or not. And sometimes, when I drive past that new white house, I swear I see small handprints in the windows. If you're watching this, and you ever get the urge to explore an abandoned house, don't. Because maybe it isn't abandoned. Maybe the game never ended.